Hi, so this is number 3 in our series on competition and competitor analysis and why it's actually important. So, in the previous 2 we were looking at your place in the marketplace and how you should measure yourself using the 7 Ps and look at competitors using that, which we will go into in more detail in later videos. So today we're just going to go over market share, what we mean by market share, and the 2 sort of options that are available to you. There's actually more than 2, but we're keeping it nice and simple so it's easy to follow along, and it's just part of what I have no idea how many videos will be in this particular series on competition, but one of many 5-minute videos on competition from Profit Ladder. And of course, don't forget, if you want to join Profit Ladder proper, it's $27 US dollars, that's about 18 UK pounds, and you get these videos, longer versions of these videos every week, and activities to do and group support. So that's just to remind you, if you're interested in actually joining the paid membership site and forum to support you in all your marketing. So let's just move on then quickly. So what do we mean by market share? Well, okay, so if you're a fitness professional and you're looking around at the world in the third world, in the first world, so in the UK, in America, in Europe, and you're looking at everybody going past and you're thinking, wow, most people are out of shape, most people are not very fit, there's infinite amount of business out there. Obesity is a growing problem, lack of exercise is a growing problem, and growing health risks. There's an infinite amount of people who need my services. However, you are wrong. You are wrong in that assumption. That's very observatory sort of level, observer level market research, and doesn't allow for a couple of things. There actually is only a finite number of people for your service at any given time. And the reason being, and there are 3 reasons and they're on this slide, is that firstly, people have to be ready to make the change. You know that. You work in this industry, you work in this field, and if somebody's head isn't in the game, they won't get the results. They just won't. They might be in the game for a few weeks and then off the game for a few weeks, and they're not really getting anywhere. I mean, I've had a whole year of that myself, where I think I'm ready to reconnect with my fitness, lose some weight, and I get all excited and I go to my training and I'm really on it, and it only lasts a few weeks because then work and stress and tiredness just all seem to get in the way. And the point is that I'm not really ready for change. I haven't got that deep down motivation for change. So one reason that you're limited in number of people is actually who's ready for change. Of that amount of people that you observe sitting in your cafe watching the world go by, only a finite number, not an infinite number, are actually ready for change. The next factor in your service, whether you're online or offline, and depending on what you're offering, is even if they are ready for change, some will not have the financial means available to make that change. So now you're starting to see people walking past the cafe, and you can almost imagine, like cartoon-like, they're getting big red crosses through their bodies as they walk past, because they may not be able to afford the change and the prices that you're charging. Now, I know that we have sales videos in Profit Ladder on how to overcome financial objections. I know that the amount of money people spend on things like Starbucks and Costa and parking in a town centre and takeaways and films and going out and aftershave and holidays all adds up to more than they would have to pay you to make, a really good change to their fitness and their bodies. However, we go back to point number 1, is, are they ready for change? In other words, we may know that they have the financial means available, and you may believe that their health and their fitness and their ability to get in and out of a bath when they're 70 because they've got enough muscle power in their triceps is really important. But to them, it isn't so important. You have to accept there's a difference between what you believe and what they believe. So although we can have very clever sales techniques to overcome financial objections, and Joe, our sales expert, has videos of that on Profit Ladder on how to overcome sales objections, and they are awesome. They are really, really awesome. We have to accept that there is only a finite number of people because of financial means to change. And then the third reason we only have a finite number of people in our market share is have the time available. Now, I know, again, another excuse, and you can turn around and you can say, well, yes, but if you take away the amount of time they watch wasting, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here, or the Kardashians, or they just got up an hour earlier, or when they get in from work, they don't go straight home, they come to the gym first, whatever it might be. But again, it goes with this ready for change, doesn't it? The time available to someone is actually at their discretion. So if they feel they don't have time, if they feel the children, partners, work, whatever it might be comes first, you know, cooking dinners, keeping a clean house comes first, you can use your sales techniques to create time. But again, mentally, they're not buying into that. So for easy sales, if you like, we have to accept that the market available is dictated by these factors. Ready for change, financial means, time available, which means that what looks like a massive marketplace is suddenly getting slightly smaller. And this is before we bring in the competition. Market share, very quickly. So you've got this finite number of people, and now you have to decide of those people, how do they segment down and how do you capture market share? And we talked about market penetration being getting more people within your share of the marketplace. So basically this very basic little diagram here that looks like a pie or a Pac-Man says there are two choices. There's actually more than two, but let's just keep it nice and simple. So the choices, if you imagine this is your finite number of people, you can either have a large piece of a small pie, or you can have a small piece of a large pie. By which we mean a small piece of a large pie would be anybody who maybe is looking for weight loss. That is a huge pie, yeah, which has a huge amount of competitors in it. Or a large piece of a small pie will be that niching, that segmentation. That will be women with PCOS over the age of 50 who are worried about diabetes too as a result of their PCOS. That is a much, much smaller market, but if the competition is limited, you can look to getting a larger piece of that marketplace. So the bigger the marketplace and the less niched it is, to a certain extent what we're saying is you can maybe achieve a small piece and you're going to have lots of competitors vying for attention. Whereas the more niched it is and the more segmented it is, it will be easier to stand out. It will be easier to become the expert in that field. But because it's a much, much smaller marketplace, to get the income you want, to get the growth that you want, you're maybe looking at a larger proportion of people that you need to reach and buy from you. Okay, next time, more stuff on competition, and speak to you then. Bye.